Hello and welcome. So today I am very excited to finally get to do a flip through of the most recent project that I've been working on. So if you are joining me for the first time, welcome. This should be a fun video to watch and hopefully it'll make you want to go back to the beginning and see how it all came together. So if you're just joining me for the very first time, I'm pretty new to journaling at all, junk journals, altered books, mixed media, all that kind of stuff. I started this channel just in August, and really I had only started working on any of this in, I think, May or June, something like that. So it's a lot of fun for me. I'm new. I try to approach it to help other beginners like myself. So welcome if you're just joining me. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on my next project, which I'm excited about and have already started. So we'll tease about that again at the end. So this project is an altered book. I like to work with Reader's Digest, condensed books, that size of book. So I've done a couple now. This one actually came about because I had made this one as kind of a first doing the keepsake journal idea. And you can see it's a lot smaller than what this new monster turned into. But I really liked some of the techniques and wanted to add to that. So if you'd like to take a look at this one, I didn't do a tutorial about it. That's how this one came about. But I did a flip through of this book and it's really colorful and a lot of fun. So I'll put the link in the description so you can take a look at this one too. Just for different ideas. I tried not to make them exactly the same kind of techniques and ideas, but I wanted to expand. So this one is, like I said, a Reader's Digest book. And when you do an altered book, you're taking out some pages and leaving some pages in. So instead of gutting the whole book and starting over, which I want to do that at some point too. I haven't done that yet. So that'll be on my list of things to try. So as you can see, this one is just full, and I kind of like the idea of making something like this a keepsake journal, because you can't walk by the bookshelf, see this sitting there and not want to pick it up and look at it. So there's places in here to write, but it's not like a daily journal that you're gonna, page after page after page write on. So that was kind of my thought process when I came up with the idea. I'd like to talk a little bit, just because my last video I did the cover and I did showing the heart. So I finished that up, and I just wanted to point out a couple things because I got a little distracted doing my video yesterday and had a couple things I wanted to mention and didn't. So I've had a couple people be curious then about my experiment that I did on my cover. And I started to show, I did a little video that I didn't make public, but I've put the link up for a couple people that asked to see it. So I don't know if that's working or not. I'm sure they'll let me know. If it does and you'd like to see this, just let me know in a comment and I'll send you the link. Basically, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do on the cover, so I did a sample board. That's what that other video was that I didn't make public. It didn't turn out very good, and I didn't end up using any of those ideas really too much in this cover, but it does show what this cover looked like when I just had the scrim on it and the gesso. So you'll see what this looked like at that phase in that video. The other thing I wanted to mention, I had done some other samples before I did this besides that video, and I forgot to show those yesterday. So when I finally got to something that I really liked, I had actually done, I think 3, now I don't know where the other 2 went, of these. They're gonna be kind of like little bookmarks because I'll still use them. I was gonna see if I could put my hands on the other ones. No, I don't know what I did with them. I did some just little recycled things and put the gesso and the scrim on just to kind of do some color playing around with my inks and stains and that sort of thing. So that one I wanted to show because this is kind of where I started when I got to this book. Obviously the color's a little different because this purpley kind of look came from some hickory smoke oxide, distress oxide spray, and some walnut stain, which I didn't do on this one. And you can see on this one I had mentioned I had done some text in the background, and I really like how that looked. When I did this one, I kind of kept going and going with color, and it hid a lot of that. But I wanted to show this because I really did like how this turned out, and I'll probably want to do a cover at some time that looks more like this. So I just had forgotten to show that. Now my little tag wasn't quite dry yesterday. It's all stuck on there good now, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, nice and grungy. So that was the cover. And then the other thing that I did in the video yesterday was I had put in a signature, and the only comment that I forgot to make, if you watch that one, you'll see I glued it down and then I clip along on the edges. If you ever have any, once you take the clips off, if any of that has pulled apart and isn't quite glued, you know, and you have just a little spot you want to hit, I've shown this before and I just wanted to show it again. I meant to do that yesterday. Is I use a fine line applicator. This one has a fine tip. There's actually another one that's a little bit bigger tip. You can buy these either in a set of 2 with the same fine tip, which this one's 20 gauge, or one that's a 20 gauge and an 18 gauge. And when I say that, I mean this little needle tip, the size of it. So I just love using these. I'll put the link for those again. But those are great for if I did have something that didn't quite get glued together, I could just put a little bit of my glue in the seam and then, you know, clamp it again. But I hadn't mentioned that, and I meant to, so I got a little sidetracked. Which happens to me. My brain sometimes works faster than the rest of me. So we're going to do a little flip through of the whole thing. Now, when I did this, if you watch the videos from the beginning, I started in the back putting it together. And that was because I wanted to do this recessed thing and have it be against a cover. And then I ended up doing one on the front. So the only other thing that I wanted to mention from yesterday's video before I get too far along here is I also folded the heart. And when I did that, I mentioned that sometimes when I do that, I actually glue these down with just a glue stick, just to keep them from being floppy. And I just wanted to show the difference. So in this one's been on a shelf and it's been closed a lot, so it's kind of more flattened. The heart is even. It was fluffier than that. When I first did it, I didn't actually glue these, so it was not as squished. So I wanted to show the difference. And then this one also, I inked the front with peacock feathers, distress oxide. And so I wanted to show the difference. I went ahead and I decided, at least for this flip through, that I wouldn't color that, just so you can see what it looks like if you just leave it book page. For this colorway of this book, I think it looks fine. I could do like my vintage photo if I want. I probably wouldn't go as dark as the walnut stain on this one, but I may just leave it. I'll live with it for a couple days and see what I like. But you can see how this hasn't been closed as much, and I just did it, so the heart is really kind of open. And I think I'll leave this one more that way. This one, like I said, I didn't glue these down. Now, the only thing I want to really point out, because I didn't do it and it was kind of not thinking ahead. Like I said, I used a Reader's Digest book, and you know, in those books, it's like a condensed stories, and they'll have pages that have pictures on them. And what I neglected to do when I sectioned off my heart area that I was going to fold the heart, I didn't look through there when I counted the pages to see if there were any pages I wanted to take out. So by the time I finished this book, all I had left were the exact number of pages that I needed for the heart. And then, of course, when I folded them, I didn't realize that I had some ones that were going to have this dark color on the fold. Now, depending on your book, you might not mind. If your book's really colorful, you might not care. But I really did, because when I had these in here, I'm going to have this little dark spot. And I just didn't really want to see that in my heart. So I only had, I thought I had 3. I ended up having 5 pages I had to tear out after I had folded my heart. But luckily, this pattern is simple enough, you can't even really see where I did that. So I'm only mentioning that because depending on if you use this heart or maybe you purchase a different pattern, you might not want those colors to show up, and if there's a whole bunch of them together, you might not be able to remove those pages without it affecting your pattern. So I just wanted to make that note for future reference. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. You saw the cover, and then I did this paper on the front, inside, and back cover. And then I had decided to go ahead and do another one of those recessed things. So this one is different than the back one in that it is just like a pop-out little envelope thing. So you can just stick little mementos in there, and then it just kind of goes back into the recess. I like that. Had not done that before. This was the first time, and I liked how it turned out. I've seen other videos where there's maybe an easier way to do that pocket type thing, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to try and see if I can have an idea that I dreamed up overnight and have it turn out, and it did. So in the future, I might try another little variation of it just for fun, but this was a first for me. I also decided when I did this book that I wanted each little area or pull out or thing to have like a little title that kind of went throughout the book, because it's a keepsake journal. So this one has wishes, and my thought process was I liked thinking of, you know, your wishes aren't always things that you tell people. They're secret. You blow out a candle, you make a wish. So I liked the idea that you could hide those away in this little recessed spot. And so on the facing page, I just did one simple little pull-out card with some little places to write. And I like to put something in each pocket, but not too much, because I want the owner to be able to have room to add things. So that just one little pocket. And then the next page, I did a little pull-out booklet. And this one says dreams. So you went from wishes to dreams. And it's just some little lined paper to write on. And then I went from wishes and dreams into goals. And this is one of the little removable books. So I like to use like a little clip or something, because when it's sitting on a shelf open, you'll see all these pages. So in this case, it looks fine because it's all different coffee stain papers, but sometimes I do it with like drawing paper, sketch pad paper, mixed media paper, and then it's very white. And so I like to kind of close it so you don't see that. So this book, like I said, is removable. Haven't tried to take it out since I glued it all in. This was the signature I glued in yesterday, but I just did it on a little elastic, so it just can come in and out. And then on the back side, because it was just a solid cover, I wanted some interest, not just be plain. So I went ahead and I attached an envelope that I had made, and I made this using that. I didn't show a demo of this in this videos at all, but in the past I have done one with my scoreboard. So if you see a demo that says something about scoreboard, I made envelopes and note cards and all kinds of stuff with my scoreboard. And so I just used actually the paper that I cut off from the inside of this book. I used those and just folded them up and put inside, so more writing space. And then this, just since I didn't show this has just a little slot right here that I've covered with a sticker, and so that it'll close that way. So that's the little booklet, and we'll put that back in. It's nice to try this and see how it works. And then we'll close her back up. And these little clips, these are just little, I found at Office Max or Office Depot, same thing, I think. You can find these little binder clips. Usually they're black and then with a silver thing. I found some, I think, in all silver and all like gold color. And when I get those, I can actually put them in my chemical and rust them out, and then they just look like a little old one. So I kind of like those. And then I went from wishes, dreams, goals to hopes, and it's always nice to be hopeful about things. So there's just more little coffee stained writing paper, and then some more just little cards. I like to do these when you have just a skinny band, something that overhangs, that just adds more interest to the page. These are just a couple more little places to write things. And then this one says accomplishments. So once you do goals and hopes, you actually can accomplish things. So I like to put just kind of things that have worked out, little place to write. Let's see, I like these to hang over sometimes so you can see when they're very decorative, you can see the whole thing. Maybe not. And then I had mentioned in the videos that these two on either side of the heart, I wanted to do things I love about you and things I love about me. So I did that. This one actually, these two pockets are both, have book page in between. So it's actually two separate pockets from the top. So this one I just did a little corner. Actually, it's kind of cute. I had cut a corner to do a corner when I thought, oh, well, I should put the other one on and do it the other way too. So it's just a place for some more little tags and places to write things. So I thought that was fun. So that's on one side. It was fun after I had taken everything out of this to do the outside cover to remember where everything went, to go back. So this one I had done things I love about you. I like making all these little stacked little tags. That's a lot of fun. So one day maybe I'll mass make them for something. And then this again, I did a little pocket on this card. So it's just sewed on two sides so that there's room for more little tags. And then on the other side of the heart, things I love about me. And again, I like to stack things. I thought this looked like the shape of a mirror. So those old antique mirrors, you know, they kind of swivel this way. So I used little eyelets to attach it, but it's open so you can actually tuck things behind there. And then this next one is also a little pocket for that. And just places to write on the back. We're our harshest critics, so it's nice to make sure you think of things that you love about yourself. So I liked that idea. And then just another little place to write. Again, I thought this one kind of looked like a mirror. I used this Hello Beautiful washi tape on my packaging for my jewelry, and I just thought this looked like a mirror too, so I thought that was kind of cute. And then just another little card tucked in there, and then more room to write. I had someone ask me what kind of ruler I used because it's hard. I found stamps where you can stamp lines now on paper, but they're kind of not always great. I have one, it's okay, but it's not this big. So usually I just go and hand draw these on here. So I wanted to show the ruler that I used. I used this acrylic office ruler. This one's by Helix. And, you know, I used it because you can actually, I don't know if I'm in the frame here, you can draw a line, and then like I'll use just maybe the bottom of the 1/2 inch line or the 1/4 inch line, or you can use the bottom of the number line, something like that, just to eyeball and get them level. This is what I used, and I thought you could also just draw a horizontal line with a Sharpie marker that you would be able to see to move up. So if you have one of these or can find one of those, that will work. And then I had mentioned that I have these big sewing rulers too that are clear that already have these lines. I didn't use them for these because my rulers that I have are like really big. But I found the other day this one, which is only 18 inches. So it's more manageable on my table. So you could use something like this, and you can see how you can line up the next one just so you're straight. So this is a much easier one. I think I got this at Michael's, and it was like $12 or something. And I found it in the department where they have little sewing notions and stuff. So I wanted to mention that. And then just a couple more little tags in a pocket. This one, I used the butterfly, one of the cutouts, and then I just attached the bottom of the wing so that you can actually use it for another little tuck. And then this is another removable book. Again, I like to use a little clip on here. And this one I did with a variety of papers. You can tell by the weight. Some of them are mixed media. Some of them are just drawing paper and maybe a watercolor paper. And it just comes out this way, that way. I like books like this to be removable. The other one is one to write in, so it's not as a big a deal unless you just are traveling or something and want to take it with you to write in and not take the whole book. This one, I always like to have one that has any kind of sketching, mixed media, anything like that to come out because it's much easier to work on. So that was this one. And you can see when it's open, it's very white. So that's why I like to keep these closed with a clip. And this one's just a little, I think probably Tim Holtz, maybe little clip. Kind of industrial looking. And then the back of this one, just another little card with one of the little hidden paper clips. And attach photos or whatever. I didn't do anything to the back of this one because the paper was already pretty. And then this one I had wanted to throw in a little tiny bit of red just for fun. And so this one says gratitude. I didn't put a label on this one. I guess I could for, I think on the other journal I did doodles or something like that. I could put one art, but I just like that paper. I didn't want to mess it up too much. So this one I did gratitude, and I just did a bunch of little cards. This actually has the definition of gratitude. Just little spots to be able to write things. And another little clip to hold that on. And then this one, little booklets, reflections. And I thought it looked like a mirror, and it does have some sparkly on there. So I thought that was a good just to, you know, reflect back on things. And it's just has plain coffee stained paper on it to write. And then my last bit is my first part I started, and this one says memories on one side and some tags with another little fancy clip. And then the hidden pocket has a little book called Treasures. And I have it closed again with one of the little clips. But I did this one to be like a scrapbook, so you can put photos in it. And I didn't make little notches because I don't know what size picture they're going to use. I'll probably put a little envelope with some corners, some stick-on corners, photo corners. So whoever ends up with this can have a way to hook in their pictures. And then that's it, the back cover. And that is finished. So it's nice to get a project completely finished, a tutorial from start to finish. Not all of my videos are that way, so this is good. So that's it. At some point when I've had maybe a few days to look at it and decide I can detach myself, I'll list it for sale, but not sure exactly when that'll happen. And I want to show you the teaser of the next little project in case you haven't watched any of my videos before. I had started with a tutorial on just the teaser of what I wanted to do, which was not going to go in this type of journal. My challenge for myself was to use up all my book pages that I've been tearing out of these books. And so I wanted to challenge myself to do a journal only using recycled book paper. I could use other recycled things like, you know, like this kind of stuff, as long as it's recycled. Maybe some old junk mail, that kind of thing, but no decorative papers. The last two projects I have done, I have used paper packs and done the whole project with just maybe 1 or 2 paper packs. So I wanted to kind of challenge myself creatively and see what my own design style might be if I have to create something from scratch. So I ended up having somebody ask me to do a tutorial on this envelope, stacked envelope journal. So I went ahead and decided I'm going to go ahead and make this be the project. So I'm going to do it with the book page just like I was originally planning, only it's going to be in this style journal. So that's what I'm working on. And if you would like to join me, I would love to see your comments and see things that you come up with, ideas, that kind of thing. I might do, in this series, I might go ahead and do some shorter videos of some of the things that I figure out to put in here. And then at the end, do another final flip through. So give me a thumbs up if you liked this project and follow along on the next one. So go have a great rest of your day and go make something. Bye.